Hey folks, welcome in. This is Babbaginator. We're back in the long dark. Ooh, it's cold out there. We have no matches. Check this out. We are flying with just our flare and a dream. Okay. Morning. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna. Oh, we should probably also let people know on X and Blue Sky that we're actually up and about doing stuff. So let's do that. Let's say House Hunters Great Bear Edition continues. Day 8. Okay, let's see here. I think everybody's started off. Okay, there we go. Okay, hopefully a few more people coming in. How much coal is too much coal? Too much wind. I'll be out of luck in no time. Okay. Let's try waiting for a little bit longer.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Yeah, we're pretty heavy. Okay, so what can we ditch? 49 coal. That's a lot of coal. We don't need 49. Weather is dropped. What's our best bet? Should we go to the place where we can get a fire going and keep a fire going is going to be the whatchamacallit, lookout tower. On the other hand, closest is the blue trailer. Maybe we'll check the blue trailer first. Also hope we don't run into a wolf.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Welcome in, lurkers. If you're new to this channel, hey Roller, good to see you as well. Yeah, for those of you who are lurking and new, I'm Babbaginator. I stream The Long Dark. I am a longtime TLD player. These days, it's all Interloper. I started off in Stalker, but now I have about 3,500 hours, and most of it's in Interloper. I'm a writer, I'm a former computer games programmer, I am a big geek that loves playing D&D and running D&D games. Last stream you heard me chat a lot about homebrew campaign and a number of ventures I'm running in that setting. Yeah. I see a bear out there on the ice. I see rabbits. Skies of blue. No, there's no skies of blue here. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah. Till the cougar comes and eats me. Okay, so we are desperate to find matches. Survey says...
I can barely walk with this much gear.
So we struck out no matches. And the gusty winds are back. Okay, we'll see if we can nap for an hour. Wait for the winds to go down. Hopefully. Not so much. Oh, hydrate request. Thank you. Thank you, Roller, for the hydrate.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, so I think we're going to go try our luck. Up here. At the very least, we know we can build a fire inside of the lookout tower and use it to blow up a bunch more water so that we're not going to die of dehydration. If we were to stay here, we would have to build our fire outside, and there's a chance the wind would come along and blow it out, and then we'd be out of luck. Yep. So, how was your Sunday? What were you up to? I slept in this morning. It was nice not to have anything pressing. Went to my church services they start at noon, so it's pretty relaxed. And then got home, chatted with my mother on the phone for a little bit. And then took a little nap. All went very good. It's a deer. Why is there a deer up here? So yeah, one possible solution is that we just build a fire and keep it going all night long. And then, yeah, if we don't find matches, we'll just have to keep the fire going all night long. Easier to do indoors than outdoors. So I've been thinking about what to do now that I am done with all my classes for the term. I still have work to do, but things are pretty flexible. So I was thinking maybe what I should do, I'm not really someone that bakes a lot, but I was thinking going out, getting some cookie cutters, and emailing my mother for some recipes for type of Christmas goodies that she usually makes for Christmas, and doing some baking this week. I feel like it's a nice thing to do. My poor roommate is stuck in study mode for first year PhD exam. And so stressing out, so I think it might be nice to have cookies when they get home. Yeah, going well. Had a pretty chill day. Okay, we still need a hacksaw. We have the bedroll, we have the hammer. We need a hacksaw. Yeah. Oh, I've been telling them. It's also, I'm passing on my hard-earned experience to set some boundaries for yourself. Like, it's not going to make a difference. In fact, it'll probably do you more harm if you stay up too late studying. So, like, set yourself a deadline, or not a deadline, but sort of like a fixed hour that you go to bed. So it's like nothing productive happens after 10 p.m. or like 11:30, whatever it is for you. But it's like no need to stay up past midnight trying to study. You're just going to be exhausted. You won't remember anything, and you'll stress out. So just go to bed at like 10:30.
Well, this stuff will come in handy.
Woohoo! More film. Still no camera. Yay! We got our matches. The choice was right to come here. Okay. Let's learn all we can about cooking. Yeah, we were out of matches. We were worried we're going to have to use our last flare or our only flare to... Okay, so it's late enough and we need water that I think what we'll do is actually we'll just this. Yeah, these are the first matches we found since getting through the mine. So last night we got through the mine. And then we just kind of camped in the entrance. And then we went down to the little blue trailer down the hill to check that out. But there wasn't anything useful there. So we came all the way back up here, and we saw a deer, but there was no wolf up here, so we didn't have to use our flare. Okay. Still have no skillet. Ooh. So what are your go-to Christmas desserts, Christmas goodies? Anyone have favorites? Oh, I keep forgetting we can take like decor down from other places. Ooh, we gotta remember to do that when we see it. Pumpkin cheesecake recipe. Ginger snaps. Okay. So I really like our family recipe for gingerbread. My roommate's from Germany, or at least part of the family's from Germany, so they have their own gingerbread tradition, which their gingerbread's a lot more pungent, strong, good, but just a different flavor. So we tried some of that when they got some in the mail from their family. So it was pretty cool. So I'm thinking of making some gingerbread men, but we have no cookie cutters, so we have to go out. I have to track down some decent cookie cutters. So I think I'm gonna have to. I'll try some thrift stores to see if we can find some old-fashioned, good quality ones, and then might have to settle for some that we get from like the grocery stores instead if we can't find anything else, or Walmart, whatever it is. So like good quality gingerbread men, like butter tarts. My mother always makes butter tarts, and they're fantastic. Yeah, I love them, but too rich. We're not doing that. That's a trap. We're not going to do we'll do the gingerbread men, but we won't do the butter tarts. I might bring some back with me if my mother's made some when I go home for Christmas. And what else is good? Shortbread cookies, always good. Yeah. What are we gonna eat? Wow, we don't have a whole lot. We have no skillet, so the flour's not doing us any good, even though we have everything for making pancakes. We can make oats. That's what we're gonna have. Oatmeal, I guess. But we're gonna need a lot more water to do that. Okay, let's make those. Ooh, a nice old-fashioned fudge. And salted caramel. Yeah, that would be good. Roasted chestnuts. Classic. One of the things I'm thinking about doing is getting... We don't have a loaf pan. So that's on my list of things to pick up as well. And I think I'd like to make banana bread, apple bread, or something I've been playing with, sweet potato bread. I have my own recipe for doing these baked Japanese sweet potatoes, where I rub them in olive oil and sprinkle them with curry powder and cinnamon and bake them for about an hour. And everything goes into like the sweet potato flesh, the substance of sweet potato, and take that, which becomes very soft and very, very rich, and make that into a bread. That's my plan. That'll be good. So it'll be a little bit spiced. Yeah. That's on my list of things to make. So, grew up in... Oh, we should be doing some shout-outs here. Shout-out... Nemesis... Oh, you took a break from TLD to do League of Legends.
Fuck me. Bro, you already took me out.
Oh, nice.
Holy shit. Oh. Holy.
That's always the case. I think I died in a blizzard while harvesting a bear one time. That was very sad. Forge. Also, dying of starvation while cooking something is peak, interloper moments. It's like, I died while trying to cook something. Not from food poisoning, just starvation while waiting for something to finish cooking. Sadness, much sadness there. Oh, actually, you know what? We want more water. What am I doing? I'm just throwing. So we just used up water. We need more water. Okay. We can tear this thing up. Oh, what am I doing? We're missing out golden opportunity here to get some reading done. One hour.
I could eat anything.
Okay. 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 Well, that doesn't sound good out there. Sounds like trouble. Sounds like we need to read more of our book. Still sounds terrible out there. Full on blizzard. Not my favorite. Still sounds pretty bad out there.
I'm gonna need to eat soon. I need something to eat.
Still looks pretty bad. Hmm. Seems better. Breezy, but maybe... Okay. A little gusty. Might be fine. I don't like this. This still feels like it's going to be too gusty. We can't get this stuff out. Oh, we can. How are we getting this out? Pry bar? Okay. Still think it's too windy to travel with the torch, so we'll probably hold off for another sleep through and see what happens. Temperature's fine, it's just I don't think we can keep the torch going. We risk it anyways, so we can keep moving. We'll use the flare because we know it'll light regardless of what the wind is doing. So I'm debating what our next challenge is going to be. I don't know how long we'll actually run this. You know, I think we should at least do this long enough so we experience what the like we traveled to Ash Canyon or one of the other places to get the tools, and then we start building, changing over one of the bases. I think we need to get that far to get a general sense of the new functionality and how wildlife patterns have changed overall, and possibly to have an encounter with cougar. But I don't think there's like a fixed goal other than build a base, right? So I think because of that, we may just hit sort of an arbitrary goal of like 50 days or 100 days, and then move on to something else. Hey, Sweet Lou, yeah, enjoy your sleep lurk. So I think the challenge after this is either going to be roll with it, which will be a nightmare with the cougar now. And the rotating, migrating timberwolf packs. Yeah. It would be interesting to see if I can beat it with the new changes. I hear you, Wolf. I hear you. Just one of them. Okay, here you go. Oh, you rank kind of funny now. Ugh. Spooked me. Okay, go away, buddy. Where are we getting these weird, like, freezes? Oh, there is a bear. Question is, where is Mr. Bear? Well, I meant my first set of timberwolves in my spawn. I showed up in Timberwolf Mountain with timberwolves. I was like, this is not what I asked for. You don't have to be that on the nose. I like the mystery. The mystery of Timberwolf Mountain not having timberwolves. And suddenly it did live up to its name. It was like, yeah, the mystery went away. We got lots of torches, so we're going to switch a little early. Just grab some extras. I'm not really certain where the bear is right now. It's a little bit of a concern for me. There is a mystery. But it is going to get dark soon, so we should stay in the trailer. That's okay. We managed to escape. Escape from Timberwolf Mountain without being ripped apart by timberwolves.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
So far, I'm not seeing a decor that I'm planning on keeping, so. Stay or go? I think we stay here. How are we doing for food? We are going to need to make some food.
Come on, little fire.
Come on, work. Work, little fire.
I can barely walk with this much gear. Oh, it's getting dark out here. Time to look for shelter.
Is that the bear? No, just a rock. $267. Every so often I hear something that sounds like it could be a slow moving bear. Yep.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, we should have made the oatmeal first. I have to go to bed on a less than full stomach. No, we'll see if we can fill up. It's pretty close. Might do.
Oh, eat soon.
Okay, we finished reading that book.
Damn it! So hungry. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
It's too windy. Don't like this. We have no flares, so torch will go out and we'll just be out of luck. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Cougar's here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Crap. Cougar has entered the territory.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay, let's see. We got a bear and we got a big kitty. What more do we want? Oh, we've got big fluffy dogs down here too. Maybe there's a big moosey moose. Moosey Moose was a big rapper in the 1990s. No, it wasn't. Yeah, Timbies would, yeah, not be fun. Don't send me the timberwolves. I think it is. I think this is my first time with the cougar. First time on this update. And I think even when they added the cougar, I actually was never ran into the cougar, so I didn't have to deal with the cougar back then. So, this is all new for me. You know, I did watch a video where Zach Naffigan, or Zach Naffian,
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load.
Always
for
get his
much
name
longer.
wrong. Anyway, Zach was showing the new cougar and dealing with it in Stalker, both with a rifle and also with the bow. And I believe it takes, according to Zach, probably 4, 5, maybe even 6 arrows to take down. And every time you shoot, whether you're using a gun or a bow, the cougar will knock your weapon out of your hands and you'll have to go find it again. It's not far away, but it's inconvenient. Don't assume that you have your weapon. Because you don't. Really weird that they put its territory on the map as soon as it shows up. Like... Oh, so... Oh, okay. Yeah. I would actually have to make region maps, you know, as opposed to just wander around blindly. Oh, even if you haven't mapped the region, it shows up. Interesting. I did notice something interesting last stream, was I picked up a flask and then I was awarded with the Steam achievement of having found 7 flasks in one game. I was like, no, that's not my 7th flask in this game. It's just 1 flask. 1 silly flask. Why is it suddenly considered... Or maybe that was in the last game. I don't have a flask in this game. Oh, maybe it was. No, there it is. I picked up this one and somehow I got like the credit for having 7 of them. So I think that's a bug. Okay. Turns out we got nothing here. Yeah, nothing. Yeah, so I got an achievement that 0.1% of players get. Which is very flattering. It's just that I didn't get it. I got it, but I didn't get it. So.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay. No bears, no wolves. Just let me do my thing. So I sent that short story that I wrote the other day off to my composer friend, the person I'm working with on the opera. Because I told her it was like a different universe, but ends up overlapping with some of our ideas for the opera. So I wanted to share it with her. Said it ends with stars and singing. Or not singing. Actually, you guys haven't heard the ending of the story, so you don't even know that.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Ooh. New lantern. 100%. I think our old lantern's empty. leave this behind. It's just like 2001: A Space Odyssey. There's a point where it'll simply say, "Oh my God, it's full of stars." Right? No, that's not what happens. I mean, it kind of is in a weird way. Kind of not. Yeah, anyways, it was nice to send it off to someone else. She's not a writer, but she is an avid reader, so she reads a lot. And she really liked it, so that's good news. So I'm thinking maybe I'll do another round of polish on it, and then maybe write a second short story so I have enough pages to do a fiction submission somewhere. 2 short stories, maybe? I don't know. We'll see.
I could use this.
Fiction, especially speculative fiction, pays better than poetry, but not as well as opera. Opera pays the best. The land where I was born. Yep, we all live in a yellow submarine. Right, Astrid? Ah! It's always creepy when you find guts in the toolbox and you're like thinking, these better be deer guts. They better be deer guts. Dexter's Workshop. No. Yeah, someone pointed out this the Quonset is one of the few places where you actually have two workbenches, so you could break one of them down and transport the vise to another location and make a new workbench somewhere else. And we don't need this. We've got already the superior kind. I mean, you should be. I mean, I just think, you know, it's kind of disturbing to find guts lying around inside of a toolbox. Just in case. Spare guts. Why do you have spare guts? Who decides spare guts was a good thing to keep in your workbench? Yeah. Oh no! I've been accidentally disemboweled. Thankfully, I have a backup set of guts. I can, you know, but they're cured, so it doesn't work like that. Well, it looks like we'll be able to care for ourselves with lots of oats. Our biggest problem, honestly, is that this place would be a great base, other than the fact that we have now the company of cougars. Or one cougar, precisely. Okay, we've got too much stuff and we can't use a lot of it. So let's see what we can drop here. Don't need to take all this with us. Right now, this and this are not useful to us until we get better stuff.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, did we find a hacksaw? We still have not found a hacksaw. I was really hoping to find a hacksaw around here. Oh, that frightened me. I was like, who's up here? Okay, let's see. Someone stash a hacksaw somewhere? We already did this. Speaking of things that pay well, I got an interesting invitation in the mail to run a 10-day workshop series or workshop course on like a poetry workshop course for this is for a writing organization back in Saskatchewan. But to run it online for 10 days in the summertime, course format and content can be pretty much, other than following the larger format that they have, it's pretty much up to me. You can pay me like about $3,000 to do it for 10 days. It's like, you know what? That's right in between my two summer terms. I can definitely... In my second summer term, the class I'm planning to take is asynchronous, so I don't even have like a set class period. I can just do the work on my own schedule, so that actually works out really well. But yeah, that's good pay for like 10 days, mostly like a mixture of group meetings and one-on-one consultations. That's nice. That was a little nice bit of news. A little extra income for the summer. I'm not certain where the hacksaw's going to be. It's going to be over by the...
Thank you.
Oh. Surprisingly fresh rabbit meat. At least we hope it's rabbit. That's what they just tell everyone, it's rabbit.
This will come in handy.
Yeah, Great Bear becomes a lot scarier if you imagine that it's actually, you know, part of the community has gone over to cannibalism due to the food shortages. Then it becomes a lot creepier. Where are the good ones? You can stay here. Oh, that's a lot of painkillers, buddy. Okay, so oh,
Come on, Loper.
oh, that was disappointing. Okay, we want the porridge. No, let's do the potato. Potato's time consuming. And then we're going to drop down everything that's already in a can. Okay, that. Yeah. How close are we to leveling up cooking? Still ways. I wonder if the cougar will stay high, or if will the cougar move down to this level. Okay, so let's just harvest everything we don't need. Oh, guess what tonight is? Yeah, I forgot. We're in Vancouver, so it's the last night of the Taylor Swift concert. So that's where I'm not. Yeah. Hey, Lake Q, good to see you. Thanks for the cheer and the bits. Thanks for your continued support. Hopefully, you're having a good night. So far, it's been pretty quiet, other than the fact that we are in Coastal Highway, and guess who showed up in Coastal Highway as well? That's right. Shortly after we arrived, the cougar has also
Every time I
arrived.
say Prybar, all I can think is the road to El Dorado. When they're in the, after they've snuck onto the ship and gotten caught, and they're trying to get the horse to let them out. A pry bar.
Yeah, the Swift concerts, Swifties are all out in crazy masses. Public transportation's overwhelmed. Well, not overwhelmed. Vancouver's got good transit, but it's yeah, it was definitely yesterday. I was out earlier in the day to go. My usual Friday night D&D game got moved to Saturday afternoon, and we were meeting at one of the players' homes that was in his apartment up in downtown area-ish, actually closer to Granville Island area. And yeah, well, when I was taking the train in, it was pretty full. And I even spotted a couple people with VIP passes to the Taylor Swift event. And I was like thinking, that's big money. That's big money.
I could eat anything right now.
Yep.
My stomach feels like an empty
Baba's sleepy. Oh, newsflash. Baba's always sleepy. Even though I slept in a little bit this morning and even had a little bit of a nap. So you know what Taylor Swift did with the there are $16 tickets that you can get to the event, in which you are seated so close to the stage that you cannot actually see the stage. All you can do is listen to the performance. And then what Taylor Swift did for those seats was she paid to install large screens on all of them so that they could actually see the event, even though they were seated like in such a way that they could not see the event. They were then given screens so they could actually watch the entire event. That's pretty nice. I think like here's my feeling about her. I think as a entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, as a I would say as a singer songwriter, she is overall like one of the smartest people out there in terms of managing her brand, in terms of like ownership of what she does. She like really, really, really is good at writing songs and performing them and then interacting with her fan base in a way that a lot of other people just don't really do well. So I have a lot of friends who are writers who are actually Swifties because they really admire sort of the ways in which she manages to juggle all these different aspects of what is necessary. And then in general, the fact that a lot of her songs are actually pretty well crafted. They're well told stories, they're interesting in their wordplay, and then she is very invested in like having layers of meaning. And the games that she plays with like how things are released. So yeah, I think she's very, very smart. I mean, she deserves all the success she has. She's really, really good at what she does. Okay. So, we've tracked that one. We've got a whole day ahead of us, and we got snow. I think our best bet for the... If we're going to find... Yeah, if we're going to find a hacksaw, it's going to be back over here. Back in the fishing camp or in the log sort area. Yeah, I know. She's a little too good at what she does, right? Like everything's an earworm. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't consider myself like a true Swiftie in the sense that there are some hardcore Swifties out there. But I do consider myself a, you know, I admire what she does and I respect what she does as an artist and as a business person and as a human being. I think like it's rare to see someone who genuinely cares about her fan base and about the communities that she's performing in and finds ways to give back to them. So... Those look to be regular wolves, which is comforting. I would rather not have timberwolves and a cougar and a bear out here. Oh, also, production design and concepts for her videos is wild. Like a level of pop culture reference that are going on there is just really, really wild. Like, for instance, I think I really love like the Bad Blood video. It is incredibly catchy, and then it's just like a fun video to watch, and also filled with like references. So. Yeah. But I think I also, like, what I appreciate is, like, anytime I see something that it definitely emerges out of a deep, thoughtful engagement with what it means to be a human being, right? Or engages with, like, other artistic efforts in respectful ways, interesting ways. So, for instance, there, like, I really like most of the interviews that I've seen from Raph, you know. And I like the fact that Raph, you know, so that's the CEO, director over, you know, the Long Dark, creator of it. That his background is actually in the humanities and technology, you know. So he did a liberal arts degree, but he also, you know, was a coder, and he brings those two things together. He's deeply invested in thinking about what it means, like this experience. I was watching a little snippet of a larger interview with him and talked about the Long Dark as a thoughtful exploration without zombies, right? But it is. It's a exploration experience. It is. That was a thoughtless use of matches. Pain in my heart. No. These guys used to be automatically like. Used to catch these spammers and flag their messages, and then I guess they no longer have the auto flagging going on that. Why don't you take that away? It was actually quite useful. Twitch. Do you have sexy pot? Oh, maybe I should. Maybe I should look into that. Oh yeah, just catching up. Yeah, she also does a great job of not locking herself into a single genre. It's very easy to get caught in that rut. Yeah. Always evolution. It is an arms race. Come on, Hacksaw. You gotta appear here somewhere. I'm gonna be back here. You can take one of these. You know, the hacksaw will probably be a hacksaw in Hibernia anyways, but we would like to be able to cut some saplings early. So.
I'm not going to be able to carry this.
Oh, huzzah! We have a flare again. Okay, so we have emergency flare in case we bump into a wolf in a windstorm. Ooh, we have quick ways to get water. Quick way to start a fire. Do we want to go or do we want to wait?
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
I think we should prepare some food in advance. Thanks for posting that, Lake Q.
Come on, little fire. Come on. Perfect.
Fun. Hydrate. Okay. Porridge. Okay, I feel better about this now. I don't know if I feel good about this little pack over here. Wait a sec, are those timberwolves? Those are timberwolves. Sucks. Those are timberwolves. So yes, we have a cougar, we have timberwolves, and we have a bear over here. Should we revert back to just plowing through? Let's go back and let's make our plan to go to... well, actually, I know how we would do this. Yeah, it's like all the worst animals have decided to come and hang out here. I think what we'll do is we avoid the timberwolves. We go to Misanthrope Island. Just get out of here. Regular wolves are fine. Timberwolves, not so good. Roll with it is going to be so wild from now on. So with all these wildlife changes, it's it's going to be so hard. Getting those 20-day rolls is just going to be murder. Every time you get a 20-day, you know you're going to have a cougar encounter. It's just the worst. Oh, I don't think there's a cheat death for roll with it. You take your lumps. You fail, you fail. I mean, if you're doing your own roll with it challenge, you're welcome to do it however you want. But for me, I'm going to try to do it without anything. No help. No death saves. Oh, what is that challenge? Okay, so if you've never seen it, there you go. There's a whole Google Doc that explains how to do it. But the short version of it is basically that you spawn an interloper and then immediately roll a die. You roll a d10 for each. So 1 to 10 for each major region and 1 to 4 for each transition zone or small region. But after day 50, major regions become 1 to 20 days, and transition zones go to 1 to 6. And then at 100 days, it's 1 to 8 in a transition zone, and then at 150 days and beyond, it is 1 to 10 in each transition zone. So it is theoretically possible for you to end up spending 10 days in Crumbling Highway. There's nothing to eat. It's still absolutely miserable. And the worst part of Crumbling Highway is you're going through Crumbling Highway to go to Desolation Point. You roll in Desolation Point, and then you have to travel back and roll again in Crumbling Highway on the way back. So it is possible for you to get 10 in Crumbling Highway, 1 in Desolation Point, and then 10 again in Crumbling Highway, and nothing will have respawned. You know, you'll just be relying on beachcombing at that point. No, I've had 20. I had one run where I did 20 days in Forsaken Airfield, 20 days in Zone of Contamination, and I'd never been to Zone of Contamination, so I was exploring it for the first time, and I had to live for 20 days on a completely unknown territory. And then, yeah, I've had runs end in Blackrock. Most of the runs that got pretty far ended in Blackrock because I died. I rolled like 13 or 17 days and I did not make it. You know, in some cases I didn't make it the first day in Blackrock. I was just really unlucky. But I did finish the challenge. I eventually had a run where I visited every single region and fulfilled all the requirements of the roll with it. And finished up in Blackrock. And survived. And it was a total of 303 days. That must be the new pier. And I've got multiple times I've had 20 days in Forlorn Muskeg. Yeah. All sorts of fun times. Oh dear, there's a deer up here.
Walk with this much gear.
Oh, lantern fuel. Score. Oh, look at that. More matches. We have moved from a scarcity economy into a abundance economy. Look at us. All our matches. All, what? 20 of them?
Oh, lucky day.
We're gonna have to make more torches. We are so wealthy. So many so many matches, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to. Do we stay or do we go? Where is Mr. Bear at? That will tell us. That will show us where we need to go. The weather is really nice right now, which is a good argument for traveling because we can see where the bear's at. We should go and check that pier. So this is the dock. So that Misanthropes is actually a pretty good base, I think, because it puts you right close to the dock here for dealing with the trader. This is all new construction. It didn't look like this before, so. Okay. So we've yet to interact with the trader, so we, oh, but, okay, I don't know. So one thought would be to make our base here. This would be very convenient. Oh, I think I might give it a try this time around, but I don't know if I will use the trader on a regular basis. I kind of like being completely isolated. With no outside help. Okay, we can't really get up here. Yeah, no, but I think this is a run where I'll play with it, and then I might turn it off. The trader does offer like some new things that you can't get any other way. But yeah. Okay, so yeah, they changed the landscaping here. Let's see, can we see the bear? There's Mr. Bear. So I feel like what we probably want to do is just come down this way. Let Mr. Bear go one way, we go this way. Yeah. No hacksaw, so we can't get anything here. When do I go home? I am leaving on the 17th, and I'll be back in Vancouver on the 29th. I have not decided yet if I'm streaming while at home. I do have my old gaming rig is still set up. So I could stream. I think I do have... I could take a webcam with me. I could take a Lavalier Lavalier mic. And so I could have something, you know, I could do audio as well. Yeah, so I could stream. And depending who's home when I'm home, that is to say, like, going back to Saskatchewan is always kind of weird because I don't really have like a lot. Like I have family members, but yeah, there's a handful of people that I'm friends with, but I don't really have like a close, large network back home. There are people that know me, right? People that know my family members, like my mother and my sister. Um, and then I was back there from 2019 to 2023. Yeah, so I left in 2023. So so I was back for 4 years. But I mean, part of that was the pandemic, so it just, you know, it's tricky. I'd probably go briefly chat with a couple people, but I don't really have anything pressing for most of those 12 days um, other than Christmas stuff and family members. So yeah, I definitely would miss streaming if I'm gone that long. So I will probably, not probably, I definitely will take stuff with me so I could continue to stream. Might be a delay of a couple days because I'll probably have to update a lot of stuff. Because that desktop's been kind of sitting there. I think my youngest nephew uses it occasionally when he's over, but I think he also has his own. Actually, does he have a laptop? No, I think he just has his big gaming rig back home. Yeah, let's just close this pop-up. Yeah, so I'll probably spend some time streaming. I could also do some streams. Well, I can also work. That's the other thing I could do. My work is all remote, so it's perfectly easy for me to continue to work on stuff while I'm gone. Getting paid is nice too, right? So we're getting out of here before the cougar can find us. Well, that's good. Welcome back to streaming. Thank you. I think the latest update brought in a lot of people back as well. Curious, right? Curious to see how this plays out.
Or even if they are gamers, they don't understand why we play this game. But this community certainly does,
clip.
and it really helps to when you're streaming.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
People are like, "Oh yeah, I was there, and I remember when I died." And we always remember the places we died. We always tend to do things a little differently next run because
truer words, right? We always remember the places we died. Ooh. Okay. We're going to need more torches here in a bit, so let's go ahead and do that.
Come on, little fire. Perfect.
Where are we gonna hide? Are we gonna go to the basement? Oh, that's kind of crappy. A little bit better. Oh, okay. So I had this this crazy idea to do a run where it is called the Big 50, and I have to spend 50 days in every region, but it can be non-consecutive. So I could visit there for 10 days, then come back and do 15, then come back and do 5. It just has to add up to 50 in every single region. So I might do that next. Might do the Big 50. Because it's like I'm 50 and I'm doing 50, right? Or also we could stay in the cave, use a fire.
Walk with this much gear.
No, you don't have to do consecutive 50. You can do a shorter visit. You just have to come back and finish your 50. So you keep making multiple trips. Make a lot of trips. But it gets really inconvenient, right? You don't really want to do like a lot of short trips. You would rather spend a lot of get it all out of the way sooner. So. Okay, we checked out this place and there was nothing useful there. So I think we're going to move on to the cave or the mine or both. If this weather will cooperate, we will go on to cave. Like Nomad, but longer, yeah. Uh-oh. This is turning bad really fast. Yep.
I'm not gonna be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, and the real question is, when do we wrap up this stream? Technically, we've been going for 2 hours. Usually that's what I do. 2.5 hours. But I also started earlier, like half an hour earlier than usual. But there is a good argument for finishing early. Yeah, there's also that I'm sleepy part. Let's drop our crappy tin.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Figures. People haven't been putting any requests in for stuff, so we'll probably have to read something. Might read a couple things. Ooh, that's some decently high cabin fever rest here.
I need anything right about now.
Anything?
Can you eat trees? I can barely walk with this much gear.
Cool, we're almost there. Okay, we're gonna have to spend some time hanging out in that cave. That's what we'll do.
Ah, I'm starving.
I hear wolves. Hey, Games Cookies, how you doing? We are doing well. We're getting ready to wrap up, though. It's not as late as it usually is for me, but I did start earlier than usual, and I've done about my 2 hours. So we may, poor Astrid is on the, What? Cabin fever came and went? That was fast. Weird. How did we clear our cabin fever so quickly? So weird.
Well, that didn't work.
Now we're officially out of Tinder. Okay. What do we got here? Alright, so couple thoughts. How do you want us to wrap up tonight's stream? I could read you the rest of the short story from last night. I could... What else could we read? I could read, excerpt from a different thing. I should have put the book down.
Come on, little fire.
After the storm. We'll read after the storm.
Come on, little fire.
Yep, we're at fire starting 2. We have far too many books here. Oh, do you see that? We no longer have the flicker from stacking books. They finally fixed that visual problem. That's very nice. On the other hand, I'm hearing wolves out there in the storm. That's kind of shocking. Wow, they're really not happy out there.
I'm starving. this load for much longer.
Okay, those are cooked. We could make some more oatmeal. Porridge, I guess. We're at cooking 3 already. Good for us. Let's see, what are we trying to do here?
I'll die if I don't get some food soon. This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Wonder if the wolves are going to be hounding us out there, if we're just going to have to stay here with a fire going. We have all this extra coal, so I might as well take advantage of it. Stay or go? Okay. Lightning or load. Something manageable. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're good. Let's get our rest in. We are officially on day 12, soon to be day 13.
I could eat anything.
There's lots of walls. Okay. Too windy. Man. Do we hear wolves out there? Yeah, I definitely feel like these storms have picked up. Okay, let's go. Time Masters, time to get out. Yeah, you've just been waiting for me this whole time. It's over here. Corpse over here instead of over by the cave.
I think my stomach is eating itself.
And here we go. Okay, we don't need to take this coal with us. We're about to get a whole bunch more, so we'll leave this behind.
I'm not sure I can carry much more. I think I can use this.
Okay, let's keep moving. Still no sign of a hacksaw.
I'll take it. I can barely walk with this much gear.
Oh, Astrid, you always say that, but you can still haul more. Oh. Wasted another match. We're almost out of here.
Hope nobody knows this anymore.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. Torch started.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, we're gonna wrap up here. I think this is day 13. I'll save here. And we'll read something to wrap up. Okay, let's read something. Why is that still up? Interesting. Okay. Let's see what we're gonna get. Okay, so let's choose something to read. Does anyone want to hear the end of the short story from yesterday, or do you want me to just read a poem and we'll wrap up? Okay, well, let's see. You missed it yesterday. Okay, so yesterday I finished up my last assignment for one of my classes, and the assignment was to write a piece of short fiction that takes place in the near future and involves technology and how it impacts youth or young adults. So it's what's called design fiction, which is basically wanting us to take a piece of technology, think deeply about its complications and implications within human, within sort of our experience as human beings. And so I wrote something which is about, I decided to write about a 17-year-old girl who has a AI-boosted cybernetic hearing implant. So she was born deaf. When she was 7, she got her first hearing aids. Then later she got a cybernetic implant, and then that implant was then upgraded with an AI boost, which she now uses. It fills in the gaps and augments her hearing, but she has hacked it so that it actually can go advance her hearing. Her hearing is now augmented past the normal hearing, so she can keep raising the level of it to hear more and more things that go beyond what normal people can hear. And so the story is about what happens when she goes to the hospital to visit her father who is dying, and how what she chooses to hear and what she doesn't, what she chooses not to hear, play a role. So yeah, if you don't mind to recap, I can read it. It's not too long. Yeah. So let's see here. Okay, so here we go. Listen. Wren stood by the window listening to the world outside. She could hear the cars passing on the street, the droning rush of their tires over the pavement sounding like waves crashing on a gravel shore. She could hear voices in the distance just out of sight, a dog barking a few houses over, a bird in a tree distraught or confused. Boost, she thought, and the world's sounds became denser, richer, and more convoluted. The distant conversation became distinct. 3 houses down, she could hear 2 men discussing the cost of replacing a snowblower, old Kurt and young Kurt. In another backyard, she could hear a woman trying to get a faulty lighter to strike a flame. 3 meowing cats, no, 2, one was hissing. The dog's bark seemed even more earnest, even plaintive. She felt a little guilty about eavesdropping, but given how long she'd lived in silence, she felt it only right to be compensated in this way. Wren was 7 when she got her first set of hearing aids, 12 when her parents paid for the cybernetic hearing implant, and 15 when they divorced. It wasn't that her parents fought a lot, at least no more than most kids did, but Wren could tell that something was wrong. Her mother had always had big dreams, ambitions of moving to a nicer house, rising up in the world. Sometimes she seemed like a kite pulling heavenward in the winds. Wren's father was more practical, more down to earth. When the opportunity arose to get the experimental implant, he had assured her mother that spending their savings on Wren's operation was the right thing to do, and that he'd make back their money in no time. She had given in, persuaded by his promises to rebuild their wealth quickly. However, when he lost his job later that year, she could not forgive him. She packed her bags and left right before Christmas. Every year for the past 2 years, she had sent Wren a Christmas card, each time from a new location further away than the last. Wren tried to imagine each place, but the only sounds that came to her were strange and unfamiliar. What were these noises? Rain on some sort of metal, grinding steel? She understood the clatter of wood, but could not picture what it would mean in another country. Without the experience of being there, how is anyone to conjure up a vision of a place from just a handful of sounds? Her mother rarely wrote much more than a line or two. Thinking of you this Christmas. Hope the snow isn't too deep. Take care. Wishing you all the best. Mostly, she robotically mimed the lines of the pre-printed greetings, like an AI, Wren sometimes thought, pretending to be human. Never an "I'm sorry" or a phone number to reach her at. Sometimes Wren would hold the card close to her nose and try to catch the scent of her mother's perfume, or she'd trace the letters in each handwritten line, trying to remember what her mother's hands looked like. It was already getting hard to do. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Wren felt the alarm buzz on her wrist. She still preferred the tactile reminder of time rather than relying on her implant. Seconds later, she heard the corresponding ding. It was time to go. Glancing at the time, she put on her coat and grabbed her backpack, then stepped out into the sunshine. She winced at the sudden increase in volume, then thought, default, and her hearing returned to normal, at least what she imagined most people experience. The AI-boosted heightened hearing was a relatively new feature for her implant. The company had said it would provide improved environmental context and increased hearing range, but Wren found an online forum post explaining how to override the controls and follow the directions and increase the boost factor. Life was a lot more interesting now. She liked controlling the volume of the world, tuning in and out when she felt like it, sometimes listening deeply to hidden things and secret conversations, sometimes muting unpleasant topics and unfriendly voices. Background. The AI responded by dropping a chill background track, blending it in with the rest of the world's commotion. She had 6 blocks to walk, so she might as well have some accompanying music. Wren liked the subtle structure the track added to her movement. She felt like she was a character in a movie, the music amplifying her emotions as she moved through the tree-lined streets, her arms and legs in rhythm with a soundtrack only she could hear. As she drew closer to her destination further up the hill, the track changed to something more somber and thoughtful. She felt her own steps slow as she approached the gray building. She canceled the music, and she could hear her own heartbeat quicken. The big glass doors opened as she approached the hospital entrance. The security guard smiled at her. Ren made her best attempt to smile back. Some days, most days really, she wasn't in the mood to smile. As she headed towards the reception desk, she could hear the nurses whispering to each other. She silently boosted her hearing, but didn't recognize the language. She thought about using the translation option, but decided against it. Even without it, she could hear concern and exhaustion in their breathing. One of them looked up and noticed Ren. "Here to see your father? Room 203. He's awake." The nurse gestured down the hall toward the room where her father was staying. She could hear some hesitancy in his voice, the tiniest bit of sadness lingering in the air. From this distance, she could hear his worried heartbeat and sense that there was something he wasn't saying. Ren nodded, then walked down the hall. Heart monitors beeped and chirped in all the rooms. Her footsteps echoed on the hard tile. The air conditioner hummed unseen. Elsewhere, she could hear the elevator motor kick into gear, the cables whirring as they pulled the elevator car up out of the darkness. In one of the rooms, someone was weeping. Ren pushed open the door to 203. There, in the bed closest to the window, her father lay on his back. The heart monitor chirped arrhythmically in the corner. She could hear his ragged breathing and his heart struggling to keep pace. When he heard her enter, he slowly turned to face her. His smile seemed weaker than before, his eyes more distant. He struggled to speak her name, but it was unnecessary. She had been reading his lips and face for years. "Dad, I'm here." Ren walked over to the window and drew back the shades, letting the afternoon sun come in. He then sat down next to him and put her left hand on top of his. His pulse felt faint and erratic, his skin dry and feverish to the touch, his heartbeat uncertain. She strained to hear the old melody of his heart, but back when it was strong and steady, back when he was well. Sometimes she thought she could hear it in the shadows of the pulse, but then it was gone. She tried to focus on his voice, what she could recall of it, but now could only hear seagulls far off in the distance, the creak of tall pines in the wind, the start of an unexpected rain falling elsewhere in the city. They sat there in the silence, watching the clouds roll in, the sunlight fading as the rains moved closer. And then, as the sun disappeared into the gray, she heard his heartbeat slow to the quietest murmur, no more than a gentle ebb and flow, just the smallest of waves, then nothing. She barely registered the heart blaring, the monitor blaring its single awful note, the panicked voices of the nurses rushing down the hall, the clatter of the crash cart's wheels rattling at speed, all slowing to a few final seconds she clung to. She focused her attention on her father, trying desperately to listen for whatever final sounds his body was making. Boost. She could hear the blood vessels slowing, the veins going still. He was growing smaller before her eyes as his body released its last sigh, the lungs falling into stillness. Boost. Now she was deeper, more focused than ever before. She laid her head on his chest and listened harder. But all she heard were the tiny fires extinguishing deep within, unseen walls collapsing, a city of a million lights going dark neighborhood by neighborhood. She thought she heard voices, or maybe just echoes. She closed her eyes and imagined she was a child again, camping with her father, looking up at the night sky so dark and deep. The stars innumerable, tiny, and yet fiercely bright. What did her father say back then when she had asked if the stars made sounds? She reached out into the memory of that darkness, struggling to grasp onto anything. She could hear the rain falling outside. It was coming down hard now. She imagined her father now, lying on his back in that field beneath the stars, his arm stretched out against the darkness, tracing each constellation. She recalled him signing the answer to her, something about light, each star singing in a frequency we could not hear, but saw instead. their voices traveling millions of miles across the emptiness of space. How here in this moment we hear them shine, even though they might already be gone. Each burst and flare a word, a phrase, the galaxy full of song older than any of us here listening. Listen, Ren, he had said. Listen. Can you hear them? Can you see them singing? Can you hear them? They are us. There you go. So that was Listen. Most recent draft. So I'll probably go back and do some more work on it, but that was the version I turned in. Oh, so I guess you get that in lieu of the poem tonight. But I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens to that. I might do some more revisions and then see if I can find a place they'll accept it for publication. But, yeah. Okay, thank you for the applause and for the bits. Thank you, Lake Q, for the request. We are going to find someone to raid. Let's see who we can go raid. That worked out well. It's now 11 o'clock, which is when I usually like to wrap up and get some sleep. Perfect Trip is up. Long Shot is up. Sir Cyrus, Savage Garter. Games and Cookies is back up. Games and Cookies. Should we do Games and Cookies or should we go visit... Oh, Weevil. Weevil's up. We haven't visited Weevil for a while. Okay, let's go visit Weevil. All right, we're going to visit Weevil because we haven't visited Weevil in a while. Usually Weevil's not up, so we'll pop in for that. Join us if you can. Feel free to give me a follow, and yeah, be back. Should be on tomorrow night, so we'll see you again. Take care until then. Oops, wrong one. Oh, wait a sec. We gotta get the raid. Come on, raid. Still waiting for the time on the raid. Okay, now we can raid.